What's up, Leafs fans? Welcome back to another Leafs Nation After Dark. I'm Zack Phillips, and tonight we're going to be breaking down game number 49 of the Toronto Maple Leafs regular season as they drop this one 5-1 to the Columbus Blue Jackets here tonight. And it's going to be a different paced post-game show, I think, than what we had the last time they dropped a ugly score to the Columbus Blue Jackets based on my feelings on how the game itself went and the effort and where we were at. And I see people in the chat already like, Zack, I want to hear you yelling. Zack, swear tonight, whatever. I don't think I'm going to get there. Maybe about some specific plays, but not by the overall performance of the team tonight. Yeah, like execution-wise, there were things that were missing. There were things that you want more of from these guys. But the actual level of play by this group, I don't think was that bad. I don't know. We'll talk about it as the show goes on here. If people disagree with me, you're more than welcome to call into the show. I'm happy to hear what people have to say and how they feel. Send the link in the chat there and pin it at the top. So if people do want to have a discussion or do disagree with me, then you're more than welcome to let me know your thoughts. You can just call into the show and you don't have to come on camera, just audio only. That's it. But like as Vic says in the chat, producer Vic there, tonight's a chill night. I think it kind of is. Like there's some specific stuff that went wrong. That's about it. That's about all I got. Like, I don't think that this is an ugly game, but we'll break it all down. We'll get into all of that. This is a presentation of Bet365, proud partner of the Leafs Nation pregame and the Leafs Nation After Dark right here, what we're doing right now. Open an account with Bet365 today and bet on a huge range of markets. Use code NATION, N-A-T-I-O-N. That's code NATION, N-A-T-I-O-N. All caps, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Okay, 5-1 loss here tonight to Columbus, and there's a couple of things I think we can kind of pinpoint as to what went wrong specifically. And again, you want to call in, you disagree, you want to give your thoughts, whatever it may be. As I see, we've got people waiting there in the queue already, and we'll get to them. We'll get to our callers and hear everyone's thoughts on the show here tonight. But I just kind of want to get an opening thoughts out there. First of all, if your power play is clicking, then you're in a much different position. You look at the way that this game started here tonight and how it was actually pretty tight until kind of things transpired later on into the second and third periods. It wasn't like this was out of control. You obviously enter the third period down 3-0 there, but it's like you've got a couple of power play opportunities. You give up a shorthanded goal. The power play had actually finally started to look like it was doing the right things and going in the right direction. And then like one moment there that stuck out to me right before the goal on the power play that Fantilli scored on, the Leafs power play, mind you, that Fantilli scored on. It was a play across to Nylander, and it's him on this play, but it's him and it's Matthews, it's JT at times, it's Marner, it's the D, whoever goes in there on the first or the second units, who's guilty of this every time. And I sent it to like Nick and producer Vic during the game. I was like, what is this? The puck goes across to William Nylander, and it's not like this guy has the craziest look at the net and he's got the best shot opportunity you've ever seen in your life, but he gets it across. He takes a look at the shot, and rather than just getting it and shooting it right away, which you see guys like Stamkos and Kucherov and Ovechkin and McKinnon and these other players, Draisaitl, McDavid, these guys do, especially when you're at the sides and the goalie has to move from one side to the other quickly where they just rip it. And I mean, honestly, who am I to question some of the best goal scorers in the league in Matthews and Nylander? But there's a lot of times where the first look on the power play when it comes across is to stop the puck. It's stop, look, who can I pass to? Is the shot there? Do I want to step in? Do I want to walk with this? But these guys stop it rather than just shooting right away, and that was another example of that. Nylander grabs the puck, and I mean, I'll try to get this picture in here on the screen here. I was trying before, and I just was messing it up. It was just going everywhere and not working. That's why I don't have this right now. But it's like you have a moment like that. Nylander has that shot opportunity, passes up on it, and tries to go back across the ice through the slot, which is kind of clogged up by numerous Leafs players who are there in the slot, a couple of Blue Jackets there who are taking things away as well, and the puck can't go across. It gets deflected, it goes up out of play, and it kills some momentum you had on the power play. It's not long after then, your second unit ends up coming out. Fantilli scores the taupe in the scoring of this one and score shorthanded on a goal that should never have gone in. Dennis Hildeby did not have a good night. Like, another rough night from the Hildebeest. And honestly, at this point, I would much rather him just not play NHL games for a while. Go back to the Marlies, continue your development. Do not allow him to get his confidence shot here. He's a young kid doing the show with Merrick. I've heard him say it a billion times, is like, you can never keep a guy in the minor. Like, it does not hurt having a guy in the minors for too long. He's talked about that numerous times, whether it's goalies, defensemen, or specific teams in the league. That's something that he's preached a lot. And I think that that's very applicable to what you have with Dennis Hildeby here, because Hildeby's a young guy who's being thrown in this position, and we've seen the goalies here, Stolars and Wall, have to bail this team out a few different times. This was not one of those times tonight. This was a night that actually Hildeby was on the other side and kind of hung the team out to dry, because I thought that they played pretty well. I thought they generated a bunch of chances. I don't think the shots that he faced, for the most part, were all that tough, and there was a bunch that went in that never should have. So those are kind of my big things tonight. If you score on a couple of the opportunities you have on the power play, and you kind of continue that simplified play and get some of that stuff out where you're overthinking it, overpassing it, trying to be too pretty, then maybe if you score and capitalize on some chances on the power play. It was going in the right direction, still not in love with the zone entries, but very much more okay with how they played here tonight than I have been in the past. Still, some dumb stuff that goes on and you don't capitalize on your power play. This is a tough night to walk away from, and look at the final score. 5-1 loss against the Blue Jackets. That realistically probably shouldn't have been a 5-1 loss, and maybe shouldn't have been a loss at all if you do capitalize. 0 for 3 on the power play. You didn't give Columbus any power plays themselves here. Like, some of those things, you were leading, you were winning all the faceoffs, you outshot them by 10 shots here tonight, and yet still, you lose 5-1 in a game that probably shouldn't have been a 5-1 loss type of night. So ultimately, it ends up kind of looking much worse than it was. But that's kind of the page that I'm on right now. And when it comes to this team and freaking out here tonight, I just don't think I'm going to do it. Now, we do have a caller on the line, so let's get to whoever is on here. We'll hear what they have to say, and if they maybe disagree with me, and why. So taking our first caller of the night, how's it going? Who am I speaking to?
Hello.
Yeah.
I have no idea if I'm the one on the line, but fucking A, bud. I think most of what you said is pretty good. I feel like Hildeby's been put in a real bad spot.
Okay. Who am I speaking to, by the way? What's your name? I can hear you, and chat can hear you.
My name's Boy Soul. I'm a BC boy, but diehard Leafs fan, obviously.
All right, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Yeah, he's just an AHL goalie. He's been an AHL goalie. He was never supposed to be the number 3 goalie. That was Matt Murray coming back. Now Matt Murray hasn't played to anywhere near that standard. So we're looking at AA Akhtiamov, and we're looking at Matt Murray. Mm-hmm. Or sorry, we're looking at Hildeby as our 3 and 4, and that's tough because they're so young, so inexperienced, and these teams are so good right now. It's such parity in the league, and for some reason Columbus kicks our shit in every time.
I mean, yeah, it's fair. I mean, I'll put this back on you. You said okay, he's an AHL goalie. I want you to clarify before I kind of
for now.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask you to clarify, because I was going to say I don't necessarily think Hildeby will be just an AHL goalie, but are you kind of on the same page as I am then here with the guy? Let's season him, let him stay in the minors, let's not throw him to the wolves here right now. It's unfortunate too, because in a couple of the games, we've seen the team has hung him out to dry. You know what? That's not what happened here tonight. Like, they didn't hang him out to dry. He actually just had a real tough game and put the team behind the 8 ball.
Yeah, 100%. Like, he shouldn't have been here in the first place is what the team should have done. They should have insulated him, probably brought in a different number 3. They were really relying on Matt, I think. And they were also hoping that he would take that step and be a real good NHL goalie, which he has shown flashes of, obviously. He's looked great after the first shot of some games.
Yeah.
Like, he's got that potential to be a future NHL goalie. Whether or not he can be a number 1, a 1A, a 1B, or what, obviously, a lot of time to find that out. But is he going to be our number 3 in the playoffs? Oof, I don't know.
Yeah, fair enough. I think if it comes down to it at the playoffs, it's probably a guy like Matt Murray, just from veteran, like just the fact that he's been around. You also pray that you don't get down to a third goaltender. It is possible that you could get there, but you're looking at Stolarz and Wall. You gotta hope and pray and fingers crossed that if it's one going down, it's the other one who's able to hold things above water until the other guy can get back. Which in a playoffs push, in a playoff series, you could run a guy out there for 7 straight. In a regular season, you're just not going to want to or need to put a guy in that every single night, which I think is kind of to a disadvantage here right now, just because, yeah, you've got to go to Hildeby or Matt Murray, who looked a little bit shaky when he was up. But I mean, that's the current situation with it. I said off the top of the show, I'm not going to freak out on the team here tonight. Like, I don't think it's worthy of that. I think you got some bad goaltending. I think you got to fight here tonight. I thought the team pushed and had some energy. I thought that they were generating chances. I thought Nylander looked unbelievable here tonight. Like, he was awoken. Matthews gets on the board. He's got goals in 5 straight here now. I thought Marner looked pretty decent. Obviously, you lose Matthew Nyes there, so it goes back to the blender, and you're kind of digging down your depth. Looks like if Nyes stays out, which, I mean, based on the fact that this team has been very precautionary with players, you might end up holding him out on Saturday. Who knows where he's at by then? I'm just kind of guessing. And then maybe you see Jacob Quillen. But are you in agreement with me here tonight that this is a pretty decent game? You just kind of got a crappy result and there's not too much to look into? Or were you ready to kind of come on here and yell and scream and hoping I would as well?
I'm definitely not a yelling screamer, but like I can see we were clearly the better team. And yet again, we got quote unquote goalied. It's just like one of those things where we hit the post. We didn't get the bounces.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Columbus seems to do that to us. And there's teams under the standings always do it to us. There's something there that we just need to get over. And then we're good. Like, honestly, I don't want to face Columbus in the playoffs. I'm just saying that right now.
I know, and as you heard Chris Cuthbert say at the end of the broadcast there, if it were to start today, it would be the Leafs and Columbus in the first round.
I would hate that so much. They've already got a one-up on us. I don't have to add in, the Johnny Gaudreau factor, like the heart and soul pushing behind them. I don't want to go anywhere near them, all right?
Fair enough. Fair enough. Anything else sticking out to you here tonight in this game?
Nothing too crazy, man. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to listen to an idiot like me, and thanks. Have a great one.
No, not at all. I appreciate you calling in. Appreciate hearing everyone in the chat's opinions. So thank you again. You're more than welcome back here anytime. We'll post the links in the chat and open it up to everybody. But thanks as always. Thank you for calling in here, and hopefully we hear from you soon.
Cheers.
There you go. First caller of the night. We appreciate anybody who wants to call in and give their thoughts on tonight's game or the Leafs team as a whole. If you want to kind of break down what's gone on, and if you are pissed off, if you're not pissed off, if there's things that are concerning you about the group, then you let me know and fire it in there. There's a link pinned to the top of the chat. I can send it here again if people do want to call in. You'll see it floating around in there. You want to call in, click that link. You don't have to come on camera. You just call into the show and you give your thoughts. A couple of other things here as we go along. Normally here on the show, 50 likes, every 50 likes, 50, 100, 150, 200, whatever it may be. Every set of 50, we go to, we do the smelling salts, as our guy there, Boy Soul, had called in from BC. We do the smelling salts every 50. The other thing here, which has been something we have had on the show for a while, but we are very lucky to have it kicked up a notch this year with a very special partner when it comes to this. A lot of times on the show, we have super chats. And for those who have been watching my show or who have been watching the Morning Take show, at this point, you probably know, but if you are new to the channel and you did not know and you've just stumbled across this, we have a new charity partner here on the show for our super chats, and that would be Sick Kids. If you want to make sure your question or comment gets on the show, hit us with a super chat. Proceeds from our super chat will go to Sick Kids, Canada's first children's hospital and a top research-intensive children's hospital in Canada and third in the world. You want to send a super chat there, you make sure the live chat is open, you click on that. You can select a super sticker and click the sticker pack, or you can click a super chat, drag the amount or type the amount that you would like, and then click send. You can put a message there if you would like, or just send in the super chats. Regardless, no matter what you do, we do appreciate it, and we do have a very awesome partnership here on the show this season. So make sure to send those super chats in. Leafs Nation 401. Subscribe here to the channel. Turn on notifications. All of that good stuff. Seems like we have a little bit more of a quiet show here tonight. I feel like people might have seen this one and done what producer Vic was about to do and just shut it off and say, I'm out of here. Like, I think there was a point he was just like, I think I'm done. I can't watch this. I can't do this, and was ready to call it quits on the team. And I don't really blame people. Not call it quits on the team, but call it quits on the game. You know, it was just one of those ones. You're watching a team that's generating chances, and they're getting their teeth kicked in. And Willie hits a post. Willie gets a chance wide open in front. Matthews gets a couple earlier in the second period. It's like those are a couple of opportunities you have to bury. You don't. And then shortly after, it's Columbus coming down the other way and scoring. I mean, I even look at, and some of these are just ones that should never have gone in. There was a shift there where the Leafs had been on. I think Matthews, Marner, and Nyes at that point in time had been on the ice for about a minute and a half before the goal was scored. They spent probably 65 to 70 seconds in the offensive zone, circling around, creating chances. You saw the one play there where Timmins rips it across to Matthews in the slot. Matthews receives the puck. He gets a quick shot off. Then it's like, okay, cycle game goes on. As the cycle game continues, the Matthews retrieves the puck again, just over at the side of the net, all alone. Pulls it past Merzlikins, goes to tuck it around him. Merzlikins trailing leg, keeps the puck out of the net. And then down the other way we go. Columbus with the puck on a rush. They get down to the other end. And, okay, they keep the puck in the zone for like 10, 15 seconds. It turns to 20, 25 seconds. Next thing you know, it's, oh, man, I'm going to say his name wrong, so I'm just going to pull it up because otherwise I'm going to say it in the wrong order. Luca Del Belbaluz. I was about to say Bell Del Deleuze, so good thing I didn't. Del Belbaluz. And, and he dishes it across to JVR, who comes screaming in and buries it backdoor. Like, you get to that point where you've got a couple of those opportunities that come up. You don't score. Matthews has two chances there, and then it goes down the other way, and Columbus does. You didn't get the goaltending tonight. You had a couple of opportunities, and you just couldn't find a way to put the puck in the back of the net. It happens. You would like to eliminate those. But I think the thing for me coming on and breaking this one down, and it was conversations that I had previous to coming on to the show here tonight, was the effort, the effort was there tonight. The game plan was there. The way you played and chances created, it was all there. Like, all of the pieces you're looking for this Leafs team that would typically lead to success, they were there. You didn't get goaltending. Like, you got screwed in your own net, and this is not to blame Hildeby completely. You have to score, and you have to be able to capitalize on some of your chances, and I mean, bring it back. You went 0 for 3 on the power play. Those are some chances that you have to score on. But it's like, this is not a, oh my God, we didn't show up, we didn't care, we didn't get involved in this one type of game, and we got blown out by Columbus. Full credit to Columbus. Like, they played a good game here. It's not like they were just lucky to win this one. It's just not a let's blow our tops on this Leafs team for the result of this one tonight. We do have a couple of other callers here. So I don't know how I'm going to do this. Let's see. All right. We'll take the first caller of the night here. I've got one off mute right now, so we'll go with them first. Welcome to the show here for the first time ever. Who am I speaking to, and how's it going tonight?
Hello?
Yep. What's up?
Hey, what's up?
Who am I talking to right now?
Ron.
Ron, how's it going? How you feeling after this game?
Not too worried about it. I thought probably should have had a couple in the first and second. Hildeby let a few soft ones in, or just a couple breakdowns. Not angry.
So overall here tonight, kind of in the same situation, the same vibe. Like, this is not too frustrating of a game, too frustrating of a loss. This is just ultimately, hey, chalk it up as a game here in late January, a game that you got to get through, and unfortunately didn't get the goaltending, and it's a poor result.
Yeah, felt like the second half of the Habs game and most of the Tampa game, same thing. Felt like we had control, had high-quality chances. They probably had 7, and they scored 5 of them.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, I look at one of the things producer Victor in the chat is egging me on to bring up the deserve to win meter as it's just settling in right now. It looks like we're currently sitting at like 65% for the Leafs tonight, which I think kind of goes along with the conversation we've been having. The Leafs generate 4 expected goals. You scored, 1. And then you look on the other side, Columbus had 3.75 expected goals, which is a little bit looser defensively. And I think that kind of would agree with the fact, or would be symbiotic with the fact that the beginning of the game there felt a little bit like a track meet, kind of had opened up. It wasn't like a lockdown tight defensive game. You were trying to trade chances, and Columbus was burying on theirs. They get a couple more goals than they should have here tonight. So all in all, I think the storyline of the game heads that way. Was there anything that was bothering you from this game here tonight, though?
Didn't think McCabe was too noticeable, which isn't a good or a bad thing, but he's been really noticeable lately. So
yeah, I think that's a fair observation. How are you feeling right now with the decor and like a guy like Connor Timmins and Simone Benoit down there on that third pair right now?
I thought Benoit played a hard game tonight. I feel like Timmins can make the extra move in our own zone when he shouldn't. Kid that burns him a lot of times.
Yeah. I'd agree.
I thought Domi was good tonight.
Yes, I would agree with that as well. Yeah. I mean, the Timmins comment is the one that really stuck out to me here tonight with Timmins was the play where it is Luka Del Bel Belouz who scores that goal, because puck goes down in the corner. It's him and Holmberg chasing back after it. Holmberg engages in a battle and gets tight one-on-one with the guy up against the boards. The puck squirts loose. Mm-hmm. Timmins skates 3 steps away from the battle with Holmberg and drop passes it as though Holmberg didn't just have a guy on him that he passed 0.5 seconds ago. Obviously, Del Bel Belouz, which I just keep trying to switch up and go the other way, but Del Bel Belouz, he grabs that puck off the inside there. He's got inside positioning on Holmberg. There's nothing Holmberg can even do really there. Obviously, we could analyze and overanalyze whatever we want on the kind of get back to the net, but that thing happened in the matter of like 0.5 seconds.
Yeah.
He rolls off of that one, gets the pass from Timmins, and goes around and tucks it in front. Like, I mean, that's a play from Timmins there that cannot happen. And this has been a guy who's been a little bit shaky lately.
Yeah. Need probably, I don't think we're going to get one. We probably need like a 4 or 5 defenseman that it's going to be tough to get. Probably a 4 would be needed. Would be nice.
Yeah. I mean, if you can get a 4, that would be nice. Obviously, probably takes some pressure off of OEL and the kind of depth there. If you get a guy who can play in your top 4, and I mean, it's a different conversation than years past, though, which I think is specific because, or something you got to specify, because normally we're looking for Chris Tanev or for Jake McCabe or Ekman Larson. You're not anymore. You're probably just looking for a complementary piece to a guy like Morgan Rielly. You're looking for, you know, the Labushkin or the Luke Shen of this season. You get that guy to come in here, maybe match up with Morgan Rielly, and then you push some guys down. You end up with OEL and going down to your bottom pairing. Jake McCabe and Tanev can match up then again, and then basically your 5-6 can become a Ekman Larson and Benoit, or Ekman Larson and Timmins, or Ekman Larson and Hakanpää. Or if you go out and acquire someone else, then things can start to change up there, and maybe you feel a little bit more comfortable with the depth that you've got.
Because it was talked about heavily preseason that OEL would thrive as a third pairing, and that would be crazy if we had him on the third pair.
Yeah. I mean, it helps things out a lot. Like, he's a good top 4. He's a good, like, 3-4 guy. But if you can put him in your 5-6, you're ahead of the game. Like, you are ahead of the ball there. Ron, is there anything else that was sticking out to you here tonight, or anything else you want to comment on?
No, looking forward to Järnkrok coming back in a few weeks. Hopefully, maybe a month. That would be a nice step. If he comes back after the 4 Nations.
Let me ask you this before you go then here on the comment on Järnkrok. He comes back. Let's say everyone's healthy. Pacioretty, Nyes, Tavares, everyone's healthy.
Yep.
Where does he slot in? Where does Järnkrok go, and who comes out?
Probably, I mean, in the best case scenario, he's playing 4th, but maybe 3rd. And then who comes out? Geez. Unless you're packaging Robertson up to sweeten something, then I'd say Holmberg.
Fair enough. All right. There you go. Ron, appreciate the call in.
Yeah.
Thank you for taking the time to do this. You're welcome to call back anytime. Any final thoughts, questions, comments, predictions, anything before you leave?
Oh, yeah, we're going for a run.
There you go. We're going for a run. I like it, Ron. I appreciate it. Thanks for calling in. There you go.
Absolutely.
There's Ron helping us break this one down here tonight. We do have another caller waiting, so as we tee them up and see what we've got here, I'm going to assume that this will work. We've got them muted there, so I will unmute them here now. If they do want to call in, we do have another caller. Welcome to the show here tonight. Who is it that I am speaking to right now?
It's Alex A. How are you doing, Zach?
Oh, there we go. Alex, what's up, buddy? How are you?
I'm doing good, besides that L, but yeah, not too bad. How about yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. I mean, this is one of those ones again, and I said it over and over, and I saw people off the top like, I need Zack to yell here tonight, need Zack to freak out, like expecting that. It's just not that night, Alex. It's not the night of what the hell is this team doing. I thought the game was pretty fun to watch, other than the fact that it was 5-1. I enjoyed watching Columbus play here tonight. It felt exciting. I mean, the worst parts of the night was having to watch Dennis Hildeby, having to watch three power plays that go without scoring and a shorthanded goal against, and then like a Matthew Nyes injury. Those are the bad parts. But other than that, I thought it was a decent night from the team, and I thought they put forth a pretty good effort.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. I mean, it's just frustrating, obviously. Obviously, we know they're a good team and whatnot, but I mean, just watching them not put the puck in the back of the net so many times, it's just like you're sitting there want to pull your hair out. Like, it's just that part's frustrating to me. And it's like, obviously, when we have the talent, like Merzlikins was like, dude, I don't even know what he was on tonight. He was just making some crazy saves and just like chances that I'm like, I don't even know how we're scoring. Like, it was a little ridiculous to me. And then especially Nyes getting hurt, that really bums me out. Like, he's become like my favorite Leaf behind Matthews. Like, I don't know what it is. I just love Nyes' game. And like, yeah, I bought his jersey at the arena when I was there last. So like, I don't know. I just a fan of his game. So if he's out for a significant amount of time, I could definitely see that taking a hit on the team, because he's a really important piece for sure.
I want to kind of stick on the goal scoring ability and ability to capitalize there. We've seen fluctuations with this group right this season, Alex, where you've seen games where, and stretches specifically where they've gone and just can't generate anything. We talk about the 5-on-5. We talk about power play. Nothing is going. We won a couple of games there where it was like 2-1, 3-1, and to an extent, those are nice, and it's good to win because, those are games you probably don't win in years past where it's like, hey, are we winning this game where we can just out-defense the other team and just not give up as many chances and opportunities against? But the flip side of that is there was a lack of offense created. Then we go to periods where it's high-flying offense and defense goes out the window and whatever. Then you see a game like tonight. You kind of have thrown defense, out the window a little bit. You gave up, as I mentioned there, over at least on Money Puck, it's 3.75 expected goals against here tonight. You generated 4.08. But to your point, you gave up way more than you should have. They capitalized on more than they were expected, and you capitalized on way less than expected. Do you have long-term concerns from of this offense going forward and their ability to generate and kind of grasp this Berube style where it's like we can find a way to play both really defensively strong and really offensively strong and score while also maintaining this ability to keep pucks out of our net?
Yeah, the positive thing, like you just mentioned, was obviously we're getting better in those kind of closer games, lower scoring games, which obviously is a very positive thing. Like you said, years past, we have struggled with that. So that's definitely a positive thing of being able to win those kind of games. Some games we haven't deserved to win, but we have won. So you need to win those kind of games when, that's helping us in the standings, of course. So I think there's a little concern, but I think there's still right now, what are we in January? So there's still some time to hopefully develop that game. We're still new with Berube. Obviously we played over half a season now with him. And I've liked the way the team has been constructed with him. And I think that Tree Living will probably add a 3C or at least a middle 6 forward that should help the scoring. So honestly, I'm a little more optimistic about that. But yeah, it's just a thing of learning game, I think, really. And just even John Tavares coming back will definitely be a big help. So yeah.
I mean, that is fair. You look at some of the injuries, you are missing John Tavares. You're putting Nylander and on a line with Pontus Holmberg and Bobby McMahon right now, who I love Bobby McMahon, and I honestly do think he could fit into a spot on your second line, but I don't think that the guy who's centering either of them, if he is up there in the top 6, is Pontus Holmberg. In fact, I'd probably lean a little bit more towards Ron there, where you're talking about guys returning from health, Pontus Holmberg not even being in your lineup. I do feel like that's kind of the more the direction you go, and we're talking about that guy centering your second line right now. It is the reality. You are facing that. You're also missing Anthony Stolarz, who, we haven't forgot about him, but maybe we've forgotten about the fact that we haven't seen Stolarz in net and in a long time, and it's almost felt here like he just kind of, I don't know if you agree, Alex, like he just disappeared. Like the media and the market and the fans, and it's not like we don't care about him, and it's not like we don't want this guy back. It's just kind of is gone. Like we're just not hearing about him. We're not talking about him, and even I come on the show and it's like, yeah, we're talking about Joseph Woll every night because he's the guy that's going in there. Well, there's a reason for that. It's because Anthony Stolarz is injured right now. Like we're dealing with some of that. You had Hill to be in net. There are injuries that are going on, but even still with that, I think I would like to see them kind of generating and capitalizing on offensive opportunities more. But yeah, I would agree with you there, Alex, on that.
No, for sure. To go with what you're saying, Joseph Woll's been actually very, very good. And, he's been a big part of this team, especially since Stolarz has been out. So having a tandem like that's going to be very big for the playoffs, right? Having depth is just, in any position, of course, is just a very important thing to go on a run, especially even on D too, right? As we know, one guy gets hurt, next man up kind of mentality. And we've kind of seen that this season when McCabe was out. Obviously, McCabe was a big loss, but just that sort of thing, right? The next man up mentality is the biggest thing. So hopefully someone can fill in for Nyes' shoes, however long he's out. Hopefully not long. And yeah, hopefully we can go on another winning streak here.
I want to ask you about Ryan Reeves and that fight. I just want to get your thoughts on it. It's something that I haven't talked about yet in this show to this point. Like, we're 36 minutes in. I think we've kind of said a lot about the game. I pointed out a couple of the things that I thought weren't great. I mean, some of the goals, the one over Hill to be shoulder to open the game, that can't happen. Like, that's one that's just, it's got to be taken out. You look at the Timmins play that I talked about where he tries to drop it back. And I saw a comment in the chat. I don't remember who it was earlier who had kind of questioned it and saying, was it that he dropped it back or was that it knocked off his stick? I mean, I can watch that play again, but I'm 99% sure that it was because he dropped it back. I think he was trying to protect the puck from the oncoming attacker and brought it to the side and thought, my best option here is to give it to that guy. And that guy was Pontus Holmberg, who was on the outside of Luca Delbel Blues. That name is going to give me problems for the rest of my life. Delbel Blues. And he picks that thing off the inside of Holmberg and then beats Hill to be on the short side there, like as he kind of comes out and tries to tuck it in. Outside of that stuff, it's like, thought you played well, didn't capitalize on some stuff. Power play, yet again, stalled out. And not a great penalty kill, by the way, for Columbus. What did you think about the Ryan Reeves fight there? Because he gets his first of the season, and I thought that was a pretty electric fight, honestly. Goes out there against Olivier. It's a minute 20 in. You knew he was going to be itching for one. He didn't play Monday against Tampa. He tried to get one on Saturday night against Arbor Jacki. Wasn't afforded the opportunity. Just said no. And then the Leafs storm back and score 7 unanswered. He goes with Olivier, a guy we knew would take that fight because he's a big, tough guy. And they go toe-to-toe and just threw bombs. Like big boy bombs, Alex. They were going heavy out there. Olivier, as he's gotten back up, throwing a couple at Reeves. Reeves and him are just swinging and missing on the last couple. It was a pretty electric bout for me. What did you make of the fight and Reeves getting his first of the year?
I 100% agree with you. It was electric. I was me and my dad were going nuts, and I don't know if you saw this. I saw a report from Jonas Siegel actually about the fight that Matthews was talking in an interview, and he said you love to see the fight. He would have liked a little more energy from the crowd after that. I guess it was kind of quiet in there from what he's reporting. He said, I thought it was a little quiet tonight, especially after two guys like that go at it, which he has a good point. That was an electric fight. Like the bench was going crazy. And if I was in that arena, and I'm sure if you were in there too, we would have gone crazy, right? That was an electric fight, and like you said, straight bombs being thrown. Like that was probably like one of the most entertaining fights I've seen in a while. Like for sure, between two heavyweights, that was great. That got us fired up, but wasn't enough to push us over the hump for sure.
Yeah, I'm just trying to pull up this comment. You know what? Also, as well, if this was Matthews commenting about anything else, let's have this conversation quickly. This was a moment for this fan base to get involved. And they are coming off the Monday night, and I don't know if people caught this, if people in the chat caught this, or if you saw this yourself, Alex, but the Leafs guy, he was down there in the lower bowl, wearing the helmet, wearing the cape, face painted up, and he
with
posted
Mitchie Marner's
a video.
Grandma.
Yes, exactly. He posted a video of himself trying to get the crowd going. It was chanting, "Go Leafs, go," and everyone around him was looking at him like he was an idiot.
Ridiculous.
That is so sad to see and to hear and to watch. Like, you hear about it being a library in there, and obviously, I get to watch it through the TV, so a lot of it I maybe even don't know, and we've accused here now some of the broadcasts of maybe turning down the ambience in the arena and not allowing it to come through the TV, and then we all get this bad perception of what it's like to play in Scotiabank. But you know what? Honestly, that was pretty pathetic. And I think Matthew's comments are probably fair, especially for that point in the game. It's a minute 20 in. It's not like you were down 1-2 nothing, and the crowd really didn't get into it that much. It was a pretty quiet barn in there. You got the fight. You got like the heavyweight tilt of two guys throwing haymakers. There was no defense being played. They were just absolutely throwing it. And I mean, there's nothing. There's no energy. It's 6 1/3. Leave the paying fans alone, Zach. We cannot have these conversations about like it's a library and then just take this abuse and try to like defend the arena and the fan base and then go in there and sit on our hands and shut our mouths. Like Alberga tweeted during the game, he's like, it's so quiet in the arena. When Fantilli scored, you could hear his whole family cheering, and then when Del Bel Baluz scored, that you could hear his family, and like it's tongue in cheek and he's making a joke, but it's true. It's dead quiet in there. I don't know what the hell they need to do at this point, but it's got to get more energetic.
No, exactly. And I mean, like, I think the ticket prices are a part of it, but in these, suit guys, it's ridiculous. I've been there. I've watched many games there, and it's just like, I've been in the lower bowl, and it's just like, I'm not the lowest point of the lower bowl, but I'm there, and I can see, like, just, it's so quiet. Like, I'm sitting there, cheering on the team and that kind of thing. It's just like ridiculous just seeing like these people just so uninterested. Like, dude, go to a bar or something, man, or go to a restaurant. Like, why you at the Leafs game, man? Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, what a waste of space and time for you. Like, come on.
Yeah, or sit in the box or something. I don't know. It's just like, or if you're going and sitting in there, like, get up, get on your feet. 6 1/3. Leafs fans don't like doofus Pied Pipers, Zach. I mean, honestly, like, watch Philadelphia. Watch Boston's crowds. Like, watch, I don't know, Alex, like, throw anybody else out there that you want. Montreal. Like, watch that. You're telling me, I mean, like, I'm not trying to make this about money,
Rangers.
but Rangers, there you go. You're trying to tell me that those people, like, don't have the money to sit in lower bowl, or that they're too high class or the Leafs are too high class for what those fan bases have or whatever. Like, that's bullshit. That's a bullshit excuse and a bullshit commentary. Honestly, I'm sorry, but if you're sitting down there or you're going to the game, you can't walk away from it and say, holy fuck, it was quiet in there tonight, if you were sitting on your hands yourself. Whatever is happening in that arena, it's gotta get ramped up. And like, I know you're saying, oh, the Philly types, they're not the Philly types. Those places are electric, and those places would be fucking awesome to go and watch games in and to be a part of. Go down the road to Montreal. I mean, I saw a guy tweet, I think it was Jake Beliefs on Twitter, tweeted out like, he went to the game on Saturday night, and then he went in the Bell Center, and then he goes to the game on Monday in Toronto, and he's like, it's night and day. Like, it's almost like not even the same type of event that you're going to at that point. That's got to change. I don't know what it is, but the excuse of, oh, don't tell the paying fans what to do, fuck off. Like, go in there and get fired up. There needs to be a better atmosphere. We want to call ourselves the best fans or the biggest fan base or whatever the hell we want to say about Toronto and how kind of how emotionally invested we are, and then we all just sit there watching the game. Ooh, like, get on your feet, get loud, scream, clap your hands at least, like, do something.
Yeah, be involved. I mean, yeah, like the time I was there, it was pretty quiet in the lower bowl, and like we had there was this guy, Leafs fan, and we were versing the Oilers this season, and it was funny because he started chanting skin or right behind the net, because you're right behind the net. It was hilarious. And like we were like the only guys making noise, and I'm like, dude, this is just ridiculous. Like, you should be able to hear us at the TV right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, when I'm on the TV watching like the Bruins or something, I'm hearing these guys chanting the Bruins, like, for the Bruins or the Rangers or whatever. And like for the Leafs, you just don't hear anything. It's like ridiculous. Like you said, it's like a library. It's just,
yeah,
it needs to be figured out with that. I think it's just bullshit at this point.
Yeah. 6 1/3 says, Zach, you were so effing wrong. Well, the captain of the team came out and said so. So I don't
think you're wrong.
I don't really think so. Also pointed out there in the chat is producer Vic. Tammy bringing up, the sound and how loud it was. Tammy says, if I dropped hundreds of dollars to watch a Leafs game, you better believe I'll be the loudest bitch there. And producer Vic with a good point says, imagine what Nashville would be like. And that's right. Imagine what Nashville would be like, but you don't really have to imagine, because you could join us and go to a Leafs game down there in Nashville as the Leafs are taking on the Preds for the Nation Vacation. We're going to be going down there, Leafs Nation crew, Carter Hutton, Jay Rosehill, Nick Alberga, producer Vic himself, me. We will all be down there March 20th to 23rd. You want flight packages? We've got them. You want non-flight packages? We've got that too. You just head on over to nationgear.ca and check out the entire package. We've got flights, buses. We've got a wine tour, Love and Exile wine bar, as well as heading over to the Leafs Preds game with some live podcasts included. Make sure to check it out. The Nation Vacation, not your average vacation. Alex, I'm going to have to ask Vic what the hell's wrong with that thing, because his seems to work whenever he plays it. But every time I do, it just comes up with this white screen and it just disappears.
Yeah, I see that on the stream right now.
Yeah. I just go into nowhere. So I don't know.
Oh, I see it now.
About. Yeah, there you go.
It did pop up, but yeah.
I see some people there in the chat mad that I'm getting mad at the fans and how quiet it is in the arena. I don't know. I think that's a pretty generally understood sentiment that it does get quiet in there. Outside of that, Alex, is there anything here tonight for you that you also want to jump on or give thoughts on, or anything that was bothering you from this game?
Honestly, one thing I'll say that was positive, I really liked the goal Matthew scored. I liked the whole play there with Willie in that. It was great. But something that did bother me is just, I talked about it literally the other stream, it's just Morgan Riley, man. I don't know. He just bothers me so much, and it bothers my dad so much. And we talk about it every game, and it's like, I don't know, man. The guy, like we've talked before, he's not on the power play one. He's just not being effective. I mean, whatever, we're winning games. I know we lost tonight, but I just think he needs to be better. And I hope when it gets closer to the springtime, he performs better than he is right now. Because if he goes in the playoffs like this, I mean, it's not looking too hot, to say it the nicest way. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's one of the biggest things for me. And I think obviously getting healthier with our, like you said, our forward lines. You know what I'm saying? Like John Tavares, Matthew Nyes coming back whenever he does, and that sort of thing will definitely help the team and hopefully help us continue to try and get maybe the first seed in our division there, so we can maybe get a wild card team that's not Columbus, by the way. I do not want to verse them. As what was it, Rob? I think or Ron. No, I don't.
Think it was Boys. What was it? Boys Soul earlier, who said he did not want to play Columbus. I think it was him.
Yeah, I mean, I have no interest in versing them, especially like he said, the whole Johnny Gaudreau thing and all that, which, rest in peace to him. But yeah, I don't know. I'd take it like maybe a Habs series or something, honestly. I think a Habs series would be entertaining, and I think we just need to, beat them, and, because that series from years ago, I get Habs fans chirping me all the time, and I just can't stand it. So I just love to make them shut up and, tell them that Nyes is better than Slafkovsky. So yeah, it'd make me feel great.
Fair enough. All right. Anything else before you go here? Because I mean, the Riley thing is something obviously that's bugging me right now. I think I've kind of played it out, and we're just watching a guy who seems to be invisible a lot of nights, and if he's not invisible, he is a negative to the team. I mean, yeah. Alex, honestly, it's just I wish I had more to offer on that one. I kind of just don't. You said it last show. I said it last show that you were talking to me on. I think we brought it up on Monday against Tampa briefly. It has just been going on and on. It's kind of the same conversation as the power play, where it's lasted this long and you thought, hey, this will break, and at some point, and it hasn't got there yet. I don't even know what else to say about the guy. He just needs to be better. He needs to be better.
Exactly. Simply said. Exactly.
Anything else for you, Alex, before you leave? Any final thoughts, predictions, comments, anything?
No, not necessarily. Who are we playing next? Do you know? Is it?
It is Saturday against. That is a good question.
Senators. That's who it is.
There
I
you
just
go.
checked.
You think they get up for that one?
Man, I sure hope so. I think we have a stronger game. I mean, are we at home that game? Oh no, we're in Ottawa.
At
Okay.
Ottawa,
Yeah, so basically it'll be louder than Scotiabank Arena. We know that for sure because there'll be more Leafs fans than Sens fans in there. So yeah,
Correct.
I'm gonna say we win. I think we win 4-2. That's my prediction.
All right. I will hold you to that. You come back here on Saturday. You call into the show, if you're around, that is.
Will do.
Call into
For
the
sure.
show, and we'll revisit your prediction. 4-2. I will hold you to
4-2.
it. The chat will hold you to it. Make sure to remember that one. 4-2. Chat. Alex says 4-2. Alex, thank you as always for calling in. I appreciate it. You enjoy the rest of your night. Enjoy your time in the chat with everyone else who's getting rowdy in there. 6 1/3 still not impressed that I said that the fans need to be louder, but everyone else is now firing out their Sens Leafs takes for Saturday. So you enjoy that, and I look forward to seeing you back here on Saturday as well.
Will do. Thanks, Zach. Appreciate you having me. Take care.
There you go. There's Alex A. A frequent caller here on the channel, a frequent chatter there as well, and someone who messages me behind the scenes quite often during games, after games, before games, whatever it may be. For those of you who want to reach out, message, whatever, you can find me on Twitter at ZackPhil. You can find me on Instagram at ZackPhillips_ there as well. Send a message. If you want links to call in, you want to know when the shows are, who's coming on shows, whatever it may be, make sure to follow me on there. Reach out. You can see everything coming up. Pre-game, post-game, all that kind of stuff. Make sure to check that out. I think we'll cut off the callers there for tonight. We are at 50 minutes here on the show, so we'll wrap things up with our final stuff. I don't have too much here to add to the rest of my commentary on this game or kind of how this one went. I mean, I know a lot of you were probably more hopeful that I would have come here and just lost my mind tonight. It wasn't that kind of game. Like, this is a 5-1 game where when we watched the last Leafs-Columbus game, it was real ugly, and you played like crap and defensively loose. Goaltending wasn't, you didn't help the goaltending. Like, nothing was there for them to be able to help out, but they didn't play that well. Special teams wasn't good. Like, everything was bad. Effort was bad. You started late. Like, everything. Just didn't feel like the case here tonight. The first goal that got scored was a shorthanded goal, which we can say all we want about the power play here again. I thought they were starting to look a little bit better. It's just force feeding some stuff. And then Fantilli goes down the other way, shorthanded, and scores a goal that should have never gone in and beats Dennis Hill to be up over the shoulder. Should have just never happened. Those goals should have never happened. But yeah, let's get to our final couple of things here. Let's start first and foremost with our play of the game. Play of the game. I think my play of the game is just going to have to be the Matthews goal. He's now scored 5 consecutive games. He's on a streak. He looks really good here now. Tonight in this game, I thought that he had a couple of chances that could have easily easily capitalized on. He finishes first on the Leafs in expected goals here tonight. Like, I thought he was kind of all over it. I thought that having Nyes go out is a negative, obviously. Oh, I was about to sneeze and then it turned into a yawn. Sorry. But honestly, it's a negative that Nyes goes out, and not just because he goes out, but because at that point, who are your other options? Like, you're down Pacioretty, John Tavares, then you lose Nyes. Like, those are some guys who are playing center, left wing, bumped into some different spots. You lose the option of Max Domi. You've got Pontus Holmberg. Like, having to move all of these people around in these moving puzzle pieces right now, it doesn't make it that easy to fill spots and fill voids and whatever else. Then you lose a guy like Nyes, who's going to step up to that position? And I thought Matthews played really well. I thought Marner played a pretty good game here yet again tonight. that's going to be my play of the game. On top of Matthews scoring that goal and just kind of being in the right spot and going to the front of the net and just willing to take abuse here right now for a guy who was dealing with a back injury, who left and was out for a month when he went to Germany and then came back and got injured again with yet another cross-check to the back. He comes back in here and he's playing physical. He's going to the front of the net. He's taking abuse. Like, he's not afraid of anything. That goal that he scored, I thought, was a great goal here tonight, and great goal by him to be in that positioning, win that net front battle and maintain his positioning. But a great goal by William Nylander as well, who just basically says, I'm going to go William Nylander mode. He was all over it here tonight. He was generating plenty of opportunities himself. If he had scored on a few different chances, then maybe this game is different here as well. But Nylander just goes to work down behind the net. He protects the thing all the way around. As he comes back out the other side of the net and kind of comes above the goal line, he hits a little button hook back down, goes towards the goal line again, and then hits Matthews in front with the nifty little saucer pass that goes tape to tape, and he buries that. A great play by Nylander. Great finish by Matthews. He's now scored in 5 consecutive. Those are all things I think you can be happy about as a Leafs fan as well. Okay. Talked about Nylander there and how well Nylander played tonight, and I thought that he really stepped up and generated a lot here himself. If he had buried on a couple of those chances, maybe you are looking at a different game. Well, Nylander also did help us in another area, and I know 6 1/3 and some other of you guys in the chat were waiting to find out what we lost tonight. Well, here's the reality. We didn't lose, and second of all, you should be watching the game preview where we're putting out the lineups, the matchups, who's playing with who's in, who's out, and what our best bet is. That comes out before every Leafs game all season long. Every Leafs game all season long. It's all coming out on this channel before every game. And then after every game back here for Leafs Nation After Dark. It's quite simple. It's really easy. And then you don't have to come to the show and wonder, what did Zack bet on? You can find out. And you know where I bet it because it's over at Bet365. Proud partner of the Leafs Nation pregame and the Leafs Nation After Dark. Open an account with Bet365 today and bet on a huge range of markets. Use code NATION, all caps, NATION, code NATION. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Our best bet tonight did cash and puts us yet again in the win column for 4 consecutive games. We are back up on the season. You want to talk about swings, and 6 1/3 said, give it up, Zack. It's over. My house pet can pick better than you. My house pet can get winners more than you can get winners. Well, 6 1/3, did your house pet pick William Nylander to record over 3.5 shots on goal here tonight? I don't know if they did or didn't, but I did, and I gave that one out on the pre-game show. Over 3.5 at plus 135 for William Nylander, cashed in the first period, for those who are wondering. Nylander walked away from the first period here tonight with 4 shots on goal. Ends up finishing tonight's game with 6. 6 shots on goal for William Nylander. From that point on, obviously hit a post there. That doesn't count. I think he hit another post later on as well, but a couple of those opportunities. This one cashes over 3.5 plus 135. That puts us up 1.25 units on the season here. So that is his house pet took JVR to score. Well, you know what? That was a good bet. If you followed Nick and myself, then, well, I mean, I didn't post it that I was doing it. I just agreed with, I just said yes to Nick when he said, should we be betting this? I think we should. Is anybody else joining me? And I said, yeah, I'm in. And that would be the Luca Delbel-Beluz goal. Took that one with Nick. Said, you know what? I'm in. Yeah, surprise Zach Aston Reese didn't score. Yeah, Billy T, fair enough. Let's get out of here with our final segment of the night, and that would be our grade of the game. I want to see what you guys have in the chat there. We are also one like away. Producer Vic had been waiting patiently. I know he's sitting on the sidelines right now. All he wanted was a dart. He waits. He waits to have a dart until you guys get it to 50 likes. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on with him with that, but it's just a pattern that he's gotten to where he just has to do it. He has to wait for the 50 likes. We're one away. At 50 likes, I'll also do the smelling salts, so make sure to hit that. Let's also get to our grade of the game. I want to know what you guys are thinking, how you guys felt about this one. I think that this, for me, is like a... I think it's like a B minus. Like, maybe I'm high on that one, but I didn't think it was that bad watching this game. You just didn't capitalize. I mean, C plus is probably fair, and I could be convinced of that. I think I'm way closer to... I mean, some of you guys I'm way higher, than some of you guys in the chat. I'm seeing, like, B plus by Zelly Brain Hildeby specifically gets a D minus. AK says an F. Code 8. Like, I'm seeing, like, D, E, Fs. I'm seeing some Cs, C minus. I don't know. Maybe I got to go with the C plus and just bring it down. Like, I think you guys might have convinced me on this one. Mike Patson, they lost, they failed. It's an F. Okay, I think I'll go with the C plus. Like I was like just teetering on the edge of the B minus. I'll go with the C plus. I don't think that this was honestly, I don't think that this was that bad of a game. You got a bad result because you couldn't bury, and your goaltender was terrible tonight. And maybe if your goalie is better, then you have a little bit more confidence. You play with a little bit more edge. I don't know what, but I thought you looked pretty good. You generated more than Columbus did. You generated here tonight. And I know people are going to say, oh, you can't look at just the expected goals and all that kind of stuff. And I think that's fair, but I think that it kind of goes along with what we've been saying in the process of this game tonight and our thoughts on how things played out. Like, the Leafs had 4.08 expected goals. It's not everything. I get that. And I'm not trying to say that it is everything. It's just like, you generated. And you normally... You generate 4 expected goals. Most times you're going to have most times you're going to score more than 1 goal. And on the flip side, like on most nights where your goalie is not going to give up 4 goals on the first 14 shots he faces. This is a bad night for the Hildebeest. He walks away with a 7.78. He ends up saving 14 on 18. Not good enough. Your power play gives up a shorthanded goal. Like, I know the things that I'm saying sound even worse to say out loud, and the final score looks bad when you look at, okay, here is the 5-1 loss to the Columbus Blue Jackets, but this is like a Columbus team who's in a playoff spot and really turning things around and has a different outlook on the season. I mean, deserve to win a meter here again, as I'm seeing Mario Kart asking, and producer Vic asked earlier, 65.5% in favor of the Maple Leafs. Again, I know that the deserve to win a meter is not everything, but it just kind of goes along with what I thought was going on in this game. Also, I see that there's a comment here, which is the final thing I'll pull up as I'm about to head out on this one and wrap this thing up. But the final thought, comment, whatever you want to call it, pulling up over at Money Puck. This is obviously just Money Puck in their charting, and other people may have different ones. Other sites may have different ones. This is just a publicly available one, and I think it's fair to pull up and kind of give as like a baseline of what happened. This is what you're seeing, because I see this comment in the chat, and it came up about if you got 40 shots and 38 of them are outside, then it's not a great game. The slot, then it's not a great game. This is the Leafs scoring chances. Like, look at where those shots are coming from for the Leafs. Yeah, there's some that are out here on the wall, but it's not the majority. Like, the highest danger chances and the most chances that were created for this Leafs team was, for the most part, inside the dots and inside that slot area. Like, those are pretty tough and good chances that were created by the team. You just didn't capitalize. Nylander had a breakaway, had an empty net pulling into his backhand and hit the post. A couple things like that go differently. Maybe Hildeby makes that save on Fantilli early, and it's different game. Again, there's no excuses for this stuff. It's just, it didn't feel that bad. I thought they played pretty well. Didn't get a result. That's it for me here on the show tonight. I appreciate everyone who tuned in. Thank you for watching as always. Thanks for subscribing. We will be back on Saturday. This is like the longest break it feels like we've had between shows and games and whatever. So we'll have Thursday, Friday off. We'll be back. Myself, the morning show will be here Thursday and Friday to fill in the gaps there, 11 a.m. Eastern time. Nick Alberga, he's here every day. Pagnota in tomorrow with Alberga, and then Ray Ferraro stops by the show with the boys as well. Friday, Rosie back in the chair alongside Nick, so you're going to want to check that out. Make sure to subscribe here. Don't miss anything. You're also going to want to see the producer extraordinaire, producer Vic, behind the scenes on the ones and twos, dialing things around. And then I'll be back on Saturday, a game preview, a post-game show. It'll be a good one. It's going to be a big one against the Senators, and we'll take callers on the post-game show. Maybe Gord comes in. Maybe we get a Gord's Corner. Maybe we get those of you guys in the chat to call in. Maybe producer Vic calls in. Who knows? You never know who will stop by on a Saturday night Leafs game. So thank you as always. Before I go, there's one final thing to do. You hit 50 likes. It would be a shame if I got out of here without doing this. So thank you guys all for watching, subscribing, participating. Here is the Smelling Salts for tonight. One and only Smelling Salts. Keep liking, but thank you. Oh. Right as we're going off the stream is diabolical work by you guys in the chat to get it to 50, like right as I'm about to leave. Thank you for watching. This has been game number 49 of the Toronto Maple Leafs regular season, falling to the Columbus Blue Jackets 5-1, and what is a deceptive score for what this game ended up being, moving to 30-17-2 on the season. Thank you as always for watching. We'll see you guys back here on Saturday. Until then, keep believing. For more content just like this, including game previews, post-game live shows, Leafs Morning Take, Monday through Friday with Nick Alberga and Jay Rosehill with special guests, as well as instant reaction videos. Make sure to be subscribed here to the Leafs Nation YouTube channel. Turn on notifications so you don't miss anything, and drop a like.